It was a cold, unremarkable morning in Los Angeles on January 15, 1947, when a discovery was made that would forever haunt the city's skyline. The body of a woman cut in half, her blood drained, and her mouth twisted into a grotesque grin. The world would come to know her as the Black Dahlia, but at that moment she was just another tragic mystery waiting to be unraveled. Her name was Elizabeth Short. She had arrived in Los Angeles 2 years earlier, a small-town girl with big dreams of becoming a movie star. With jet-black hair and strikingly pale skin, she was often seen around town, walking the streets of Hollywood in search of her big break. She had no idea that her pursuit of fame would lead her to a brutal, untimely end. The discovery of her mutilated body sent shockwaves through the city, and the nation followed suit. The scene was as chilling as it was mystifying. Her body was found in a vacant lot in the Limert Park area, split in half at the waist, with her arms placed above her head as if positioned for display. A look of horror was etched into her face, but the gruesome detail that stood out was the eerie, unsettling smile carved into her mouth, a macabre signature of a killer whose motivations no one could yet understand. As the investigation began, the police found themselves standing at the crossroads of confusion and desperation. They quickly learned that Elizabeth's life was filled with contradictions, mysteries, and unanswered questions. Who was she? What had led her to this gruesome fate? Was she just another aspiring starlet caught in the web of Hollywood's dark side, or was there more to her story? The rumors started to swirl. Elizabeth had been a beauty, but was she hiding something? Had she been caught in a love affair that turned fatal? Had she angered someone powerful? Or had she simply been in the wrong place at the wrong time? One lead after another fell flat. Witnesses who claimed to have seen her in the days leading up to her death gave conflicting testimonies. Each suspect who came forward seemed more unreliable than the last. The police were drowning in theories, none of which held enough water to lead them any closer to solving the case. It was like hunting for a ghost, a shadow that kept slipping through their fingers. But then a name surfaced, a man who seemed to be at the heart of the case, yet never quite fit the profile. His name was George Hodel, a prominent Los Angeles doctor with a reputation for being both brilliant and eccentric. He was the father of Steve Hodel, who would later become convinced that his father had been the Black Dahlia's killer. The case seemed to take a twisted turn, with Steve claiming that his father had, on his deathbed, confessed to the crime. But did George Hodel really confess? Was he the man responsible for the heinous murder, or had his son been grasping at straws in an attempt to unravel a decades-old mystery? The evidence, or lack thereof, left the police no choice but to set Hodel aside as a suspect. The investigation was at a standstill, and as time passed, the case grew colder. Months turned into years, and the investigation continued to gather dust. The Black Dahlia's murder was slowly fading from the public eye, but in the shadows the case was alive, its unanswered questions gnawing at the hearts of those who couldn't let go of the haunting image of Elizabeth's mutilated body. Theories were abound. Had Elizabeth known her killer? Was it a crime of passion or a deliberate act of cruelty? Was there a deeper, darker motive hiding behind the bloodshed? Then, decades later, the case would be reignited by an endless parade of books, documentaries, and films. The Black Dahlia murder became more than just a crime. It became a symbol of everything that was wrong with a city that prided itself on glamour and fame. The tragedy of Elizabeth Short was not just in her brutal death, but in the fact that the truth of what happened that day would forever remain locked away. For some, the case will always be the darkest chapter in Hollywood's history. For others, it remains the ultimate mystery, a puzzle that can never be solved, no matter how many new theories surface or how many confessions are made. The Black Dahlia's death remains a chilling reminder of how fragile life can be, how fame can be both a blessing and a curse, and how sometimes in the pursuit of our greatest dreams, we end up facing our worst nightmares. Elizabeth Short may be gone, but the mystery of her death lingers, forever intertwined with the eerie smile of the Black Dahlia, waiting for someone to uncover the truth that still hides in the shadows.